Parambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, so as I said, we are going to go into the next one, that is Aham Brahmasmiti. As I said yesterday, scholars look upon this as Anubhavavakya. Anubhava meaning owning it up. It's not that when the Guru tells you Tattvamasi, you tell him, yes, Tattvamasi. You have to receive the Mahavakya. Receiving is in terms of understanding. Yes, that is true. I am Brahman. Okay. Therefore, Aham Brahmasmi iti Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay. Yeah. Krishna Yajurveda. Aham Brahmasmi iti. The simplest of all Vakyas. The same Bhaga, Tyaga, Lakshana, etc. is applicable. What is the direct meaning of the word Aham? I, me. Direct meaning will be what? Knower, the doer. Aham. The one who wants to know. Brahman contextually will be Ishwar. Remember, this is direct meaning of Aham is Karta Bhokta of Brahman, or this thing is Ishvara. Yes, I agree. He doesn't want to sit on top. So that is direct meaning. Implied meaning by Bhaga, Tyaga, Lakshana will be Aham Atma iti, consciousness. And Brahman will be also be Satyam Jnanam Anantam, consciousness. Therefore, Aham Brahmasmi meaning what? I am that same consciousness. You said Tattvamasi, you have that limitless consciousness, and I am accepting, yeah, that's correct, I am consciousness. But there is a difference between this knowledge and other knowledge. When you say, I am a human being, you make this statement on. I am a human being. Is I am limitless consciousness same as I am human being? Can't be the same. Because human being is relational. It's a self-judgment based on body and mind. Therefore, there is a component of it which you are objectifying. Body, mind, etc. is something subject to your objectification. Anything that you know in the world is subject to objectification. Phone, Ganga, the Murti. I prayed to Ishvara. Ishvara comes in front of me. Bolo, what do you want? What will you ask for? Imagine, Ishvara is coming right in front of you now. What will you ask for? Something small. My child is to get married. My child is not having a child. I am a great mother, but I want to be a grandmother. I mean, what will you ask for? I want an apartment. It is Jagat Karnam Brahman Ishvara that has taken a form and to bless you and appearing in front of you. You can ask for anything you want. What will you ask? Always something small, isn't it? Our thinking is too small. No, Swamiji, we are students of Vedanta. We'll ask for moksha. Don't ask me for moksha. There are local gurus around. Go and learn from them. Yeah. Because God cannot give you moksha. Can Ishvara give you moksha? It is not a thing to be given. No? It's not an object. It's not an apartment. So how can he give it to you? It is your Swarupa. You have to discover it. For that there has to be learning. So the Lord will have to take the form of a Guru, Dakshinamurti. Yeah. All right. So this is a knowledge you don't objectify. So what happens in your mind then? That Aham Brahmasmi in some of the books are very explained nicely. Vedanta Sara, Siddhanta Lesha Sangha. Yeah, very nicely. One cognition is actually made up of two mental operations. For every object that you see or you hear or anything, direct knowledge, the mind has to take the form of the object. We go by science and say light has to reflect from the object to my eyes, and then on the screen and all the nerves and this thing to the brain, and it recognizes. Not enough. Photometry, there's the theory of photometry, photon light, to explain perception is not enough. It does not explain error. मैं रास्ता पर जा रहा था. I was walking along. Belpuri नहीं खाता था. You wouldn't get Belpuri in Rishikesh, okay? You have to come to Bombay for that. I was going on the road. Suddenly I jumped. Why? Snake. What is there is rope. I saw a snake. Why? If photometry is the only theory of perception, that light is reflected, then my brain, being a computer should say low light, insufficient data, low light, insufficient data. Like your cameras will say, na, when you try to click, low light, insufficient data. But you jumped. Why? Because you saw the snake. Why do you see the snake? Basic reason, you didn't know it was a rope. Then you can have all the other psychological reasons after that. But your mind, the thought, it took the form of a snake, not rope. And you objectified the thought. If the thought is not there, you will not perceive. I am sitting, eyes open. My mind is elsewhere. My friend walks in. I don't see him. Has it not happened to all of us? And then he'll wave his hand around. Hey, where are you lost? Khayalo mein hai kya? Oh, sorry. I was elsewhere. Why? Light is being reflected, na? You should see, na? Why didn't you see? If you're following the theory of light and the model of brain as a computer, then you should see. You switch on a camera and leave it. Whether the tiger comes or not, he'll keep on recording, na? He'll keep on recording. How do you see? You get all these wildlife videos. You leave a camera in the wild. Well, keep on recording. 24 hours recording, you may get 10 minutes of usable video. But it keeps on recording. But the mind doesn't do that. You don't gain that knowledge. You don't see. Why? Because for every object, you need a relevant thought. This in Sanskrit is called vritti vyapti, the mind taking the form of the object. Now there are theories about it, whether the mind goes out, the mind comes in, the light comes in, all those theories are there. It doesn't matter. Whatever the theory is, this much is undeniable that the mind has to take the form. Vritti Vyapti has to take place. Vyapti literally means to pervade. Therefore, traditional Vedantins will say the mind goes out and takes the form of the object. Science says the ulta. Doesn't matter. Because the theory of perception. Science has something to say about it. But this much is clear. If the mind does not take the form of the object, you will not see it. Not only the mind has to take the form of the object, you have to have a subject-object relationship. You have to objectify that thought to say, this is a pot, this is a rope, this is a snake. This is a human being. It has to. So two operations take place for every perception. Vritti Vyapti, Phala Vyapti. The second is called Phala Vyapti. You see the result of knowledge. Knowledge is complete only when there is a subject-object relationship. With this phone, I have to have that subject-object relationship. What does Vritti Vyapti do? It removes the remoteness of the object from me in terms of time, space or ignorance. It may be right here, but I don't know. What is there in my pocket? Sadhu ka pocket hai. Bahut kuch ho sakta hai. It may be close. Time, space, distance is not there. But distance in terms of ignorance is there. So Vritti Vyapti is supposed to remove that ignorance. Phala Vyapti establishes that relationship of subject-object. These two operations become very important for any direct knowledge. Now here you have a funny thing. Vritti Vyapti, mind taking the form of the object. Okay. So if the object outside is rope and the thought inside is snake, my eye will objectify the thought of snake and say snake, not rope. Photometry does not explain error. In Gestalt psychology, etc., there's a big discussion on this. Why does error take place? Huge. This is simple. Thought has to take place. So ignorance is gone. But it is other than me. Transactionally, is other than me. Therefore, I have to have a subject-object relationship. Therefore, I have to objectify that thought. That objectifying thought is called Phala Vyapti. Vritti Vyapti, Phala Vyapti. Any perception, this will be necessary. Now comes a nice condition. Teacher has said Tattvamasi, unfolded it very clearly. Do you recognize? Do you not recognize? Atma is not separate from you in time and space. It is you. But it looks away from you in terms of ignorance. I don't know. That ignorance has to go. For ignorance to go, Vritti Vyapti is necessary. You need that mind taking the form. And here the object happens to be the subject. The object of the teaching happens to be I, the subject. So what is the form of the Atma? Formless, limitless. So what will be the thought be? Similar, How will it be? It will be a resolving thought. The thought will be, it will not stand separate, it will be a resolving thought. But the thought of recognition has to be there. Vritti Vyapti has to be there, otherwise ignorance will not go. Are you understanding? That ignorance is there in your mind, and the ignorance that is there in the mind will not go unless there is a thought of knowledge. That knowledge thought, cognition, if it is not there, ignorance will not go. Whether it is ignorance of the phone, or a book, or a pot, or I. That is why the Upanishads make statements, Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. By the mind alone it can be seen. Transcending the mind will not work. But Atma is beyond the mind, no? Yeah. Like that kid asking about space. Yeah. Idhar bhi space hai ke nahi hai? Is there space here or not? Yeah. So that thought of recognition, Vritti Vyapti has to be there. Okay, Vritti Vyapti has taken place. Can I objectify it? Can the Atma be objectified? Can the thought be objectified? Not possible. Is it necessary? Because Atma is unknown. Phone was unknown, so objectification was necessary. Is it necessary to have this relationship established between the Atma and you? No. Why? You already know yourself as I am. I only don't know what I am. So that relationship is already established. It's already there. So the second operation, Phala Vyapti, not possible, not necessary. Is not possible, not necessary. It is with respect to the second operation, they'll say, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, from where the words turned back, along with the mind, unable to know. Because you can't objectify. Look at it. You will find two distinct statements in the Upanishad. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Yan manasa na manute tad vidhi. Know that which cannot be thought of. How can I know what cannot be thought of? And the other type of statements. Yato vacho nivartante is beyond the mind, etc. If you take only one statement, by the mind alone it has to be known, you will reduce Vedanta to an academic knowledge. There are many perceptions of the truth. Vedanta is one of them. There are many schools of thought. Vedanta is one school. The truth is out there. Out there, where? I'm talking about I, not out there. If you take only the second statement, that which is beyond the mind, etc., then you will get a new philosophy by itself, Neo-Vedanta, we call it, of transcending the mind business. You sit down and try to transcend. When I was a very young boy, before I joined the ashram, we used to go in meets Puja Swamiji, Swami Dayananji in Sandipni, and sometimes Swami Chinmayanji also would be there. And if you're meeting Swami Chinmayanji, you always had to ask some question. That was his principle. Don't come to me without asking a question. So people would manufacture questions. What he meant was, do enough mananam so that some doubt will crop up. If you think enough, doubt will crop up. Because that time there was no systematic study like this. He would come, give a talk, go. It's only 1972 systematic courses of study started. With Puja Swamiji conducting the first course. So this is what the thing is. I'm talking about before that. So one of the study group sevaks said, Swamiji, for the last 20 years I've been sitting down, meditating, trying to transcend the mind. Nothing is happening. He's a very senior man. Very important man. I don't think anyone here would know him. Okay. He's no more. So Swami Chinmayanji looked at him and said, nothing will happen. Whatever has to happen has happened. I'm listening to that and saying, oh hell, this whole transcending the business then doesn't work. As a youngster, I realized that. I was a teenager, 18, 19. I realized, correct, it doesn't work. But that man got upset. But Swamiji is dismissing me. 20 years I've been such a serious student. Because nothing will work. What do you expect to happen? Transcending the mind, this is a problem. You will put it off in Timbuktu. Beyond it. If it is only the other one, Manasa eva anudrashtavyam, you'll make it academic. Can you see where the problems of Vedanta is coming in? Either you make it academic or you'll make it experiential, some experience of beatitude. Samadhi experience. What Samadhi is when I'm doing the Mandukya verse, I'll let you all know that. Okay? Mandukya has not yet come, no. No, it has come. I am Atma Brahman. There I will come back to it and do it. So, this issue will come in. Transcendence or academic. If you put it both together, because it's a pramana. A pramana has to be taken as a whole. You can't have a buffet approach. You know, I'll go to the class. What I can relate to, I will take. Other things I will not take. That's good when you're eating a buffet. Buffet breakfast in a 5-star hostel is good. Why? There's so much you can't eat everything. It is not an approach for learning Vedanta. It's a pramana. A pramana has to be accepted whole. You can't take, I like this, I don't like that. What is this? I like this, I don't like that. It's not open to your liking or disliking. That's why when you walk around, you see things you wish you had not seen. Pramana is choiceless. You smell things, especially if you go further down, where the pollution control is. You will smell things you wish you didn't smell. The foreigners experience that in India all the time. When you land in Bombay by the plane and come out of the airport, it is overwhelming. We don't feel it. For us, it's natural. So, you will, because pramana is choiceless. Pramana is not open to your choice. Look at this cell phone. Let the mind be behind the eyes. Now try not to know it. Don't know it. Is it possible? Come on, yaar. I never asked you all for anything. Please do this now. Don't know it. There are some of you who do so much of Acharya Upasana, etc. Kitna bhakti hai. So much of, can you do this? Not know it. Itna bhi nahi kar sakte. You can't. Because pramana is choiceless. Pramana is choiceless. But then you have to take it as a whole. In the Shabda Pramanam, because in the form of words and sentences, there is a process there. Looks like a process. You have to take it as a whole. Therefore, with respect to vritti vyapti, you will say manasa eva anudrashtavyam. With respect to phala vyapti not being there, you will say it is beyond the mind. Yan manasana manute, that which cannot be known. Huh? What is that?
Transcendental.
Sorry, it's not clear. There's a little echo in the room on top of it.
What is transcendental? What is
One what?
Transcendental. I don't get it.
It's not coming clear to me. What is it? Can you repeat it?
What is?
1 second. 1 second, let him say.
What is transcendental?
What is transcendental? I really don't know. They use the word transcendental in the sense of beyond, generally. Okay. You transcend something. To go beyond something. Okay. Not the best of ways. Like, I have grief. I'll transcend the grief. You can't transcend the grief unless you process it. But people try to go beyond it. How you go beyond it? No. There is one type of transcendence I accept. I'm touching clay. This is clay. What I'm holding is pot. But I'm going beyond the name and form to understand it is clay. This transcendence is acceptable. Or you say, common expression, touch wood. You're touching the table or touch wood. You're touching a head here. What is this? This is Lakshana Vakya. Yeah, this is Lakshana. In fact, touch wood itself is Lakshana. Touch wood means what? Is Martin gone? Yeah. Cross, yeah. It is touching the wood on which Christ was crucified for good luck. And there are many families who claim to have a piece of that cross. But if you put all the pieces together, you will be able to build a ship. Somebody gave me, I have, Swamiji, this is a small piece of the shroud of Christ. I was in UK. Achha, she's giving it with lot of devotion. All I accepted it and put it into my bag. It is still there in the bag. मैं प्यार से दिया है. Out of devotion she has given it. I'll validate the devotion. But as I said, if you put all the pieces together, you'll have enough to cover this whole ashram. Enough cloth to cover the whole. So touch wood is a Lakshana Vakya actually. But that transcendence like that I will accept. No other transcendence is really there. Yeah. So again, back. Vritti vyapti, phala vyapti. Vritti vyapti is necessary because that ignorance has to be negated. Phala vyapti not necessary, not possible. So this vritti, every vritti has got this twofold operation. This particular vritti gains a name Akhanda Akara vritti. Because the Akara, the form of the vritti is Akhandam Brahman. It gets a name. Special vritti this is. But it is not a vritti that stands apart from Brahman. It's a vritti that resolves your mind. That's it. This is what happens in your mind. Aham Brahmasmi iti. When you receive the teaching, this is what happens. The thought of recognition. Without that thought, it won't happen. and the thought will resolve. In that thought, subject-object divide disappears. Kritva jnanam swayam nashyet jalakataka renuvat. Having given that knowledge, itself dies down. Having negated the ignorance, itself dies down. What remains? You, consciousness. Swamiji, how long should I remain there? It normally happens in a split second. If you want to remain there for long, do Nididhyasanam. Yeah.
So why is it called a Akhanda Karvritti? Because it reveals the ever-existing I?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, because it takes the form. See, this is phone akara, this is pot akara, that is akhanda akara. But it's a very peculiar vritti because it can't stand, it can't be a shape, it can't be a form. Because the object of knowledge there, which happens to be the subject, is formless. But at the same time, that recognition has to be there. If that recognition is not there, ignorance will not go. That's why you'll come and say, Swamiji, I understand it as a concept. If you're making a concept of Brahman, it is not Brahman. A concept of the truth is not the truth. Then I have to think, okay, how will I break that concept now? Teaching is all about breaking concepts. It is not about creating concepts. Yeah. Yes.
Do we sometimes have moments like that in our life?
Yeah.
Where we disappear and we are one with something?
Correct. You have moments like that in a class. So this knowledge will take place in the class only. In Shravanam it will take place. It can also take place later. Like, you say, Buddha got this under the Bodhi tree. So you go to Gaya, everyone goes under the Bodhi tree and sits down for some time. The Bodhi tree that Buddha meditated on is dead and gone long back. This is second, third, fourth generation. Okay. And which Bodhi tree? There are so many Bodhi trees there actually. Which is the one? It's like when you go to China, there is an old temple called the Shaolin Temple. Very famous. But it was burned down. In Shaolin Temple has been burned down 4 times. And under Mao, it got burned down completely. Then Bruce Lee started making his movies, Enter the Dragon and all that thing. So that became popular worldwide. So the Chinese government decided that movie set that is there, let us use that design and recreate the Shaolin Temple. So now you have great masters walking there. All the masters are government officials. They are not masters. Masters are shifted from China to other places. Oh, I trained at Shaolin, Revade. That old training you can't stand. It's hell. So similarly, the Bodhi tree has come, So you sit down and meditate, what will happen? But Buddha gained it. Yes, Buddha gained it. Correct. Because Buddha didn't have one teacher. Nobody wanted to take Prince Siddhartha as a teacher. As a student. Why? It'll be a media circus here. Prince Siddhartha, the heir to the throne, walking away and coming here. Everyone will come to gawk at him. Celebrity. Yeah. Just imagine if Yogi comes here. What will happen? Media circus, security, this. Prime Minister Modi came to visit Puja Swamiji just before his Samadhi. My God, what a mess it was. Security. And they're all dealing with security. I said, what's the biggest security risk? What? Look across. A sniper from across the river, Mahesh Yogi's ashram, can pick him off at random. Now this is less than a kilometer. It's about a kilometer. 1 kilometer shot is nothing for a good sniper. Oh my God. So security, everyone had to be given eye card, this, that. He'll become a media circus. And supposing he had come as a student to Puja Swamiji. The Prime Minister coming as a student? Naimanta Baba, you ran there, you attend on Zoom if you want. It'll become a media circus. So nobody wanted Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, as a student. Therefore, he would go to various teachers and learn. He would learn, then he'll come down and sit down and contemplate. That tree happened to be his favorite place to sit. And one day it all clicked. It all fell into place. Yes, that is true. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. You know, because I'm in Bombay and I grew up in Bombay, sometimes I get invited for some dinner or some this thing. They're not all my students, but I like to see what's happening in the society. Once I got invited for the Bombay Times party also. 10th anniversary. That time I was in white. I said, Dekha, let me see what's happening. It's good to see the society. You can relate better than in your teaching. You are contemporary enough. So I went for this dinner. And when I go for the dinner, I generally avoid talking Vedanta. Vedanta is not an after dinner topic. It is something sacred. So I'll crack some jokes. I'll tell some story. So they don't ask me too much. So usually my jokes people laugh for. I don't know if it's out of politeness or really funny. They laugh. So then I had a friend, a Sardarji friend. He said, Swamiji, I'm going to Vashi. I'll drop you at Chambur. I said, thank you. Never say no to a good offer. He said, thank you. Very nice of you. So from Pedder Road we are coming. Altamont Road actually. We are coming. And he is driving and I am sitting next to him quietly. He suddenly started laughing. I said, Munde, kya ho gaya abhi? What happened? I have not cracked any joke or something. Why are you laughing? He said, Swamiji, the joke you cracked, na? It clicked now. Acha, tubelight. It clicked, na? That's good. It clicked. That time he was distracted by someone who was sitting next to him. I don't blame him. Anyone will be distracted. So it clicked later on. And Prince Siddhartha would go listen, come back. So under the Bodhi tree, it all clicked into place. It's fine. That way it can happen. The Akhandakara Vritti can get delayed. But that is not gained out of meditation. It is gained out of Shravanam only. What did my friend laugh for? My joke or something else? The joke I cracked, na? So what clicked in Buddha's mind? The teaching. Whether it clicked when you are listening, whether it clicked when you are ruminating on it, whether it clicked when you are sitting quiet and meditating, it doesn't matter as long as it clicked. The pramana gives you the knowledge. Pramana gives you the knowledge. Yeah. You don't have to feel a mountain peak under your seat for you to gain this knowledge. It can happen anywhere. Yeah. It's not dependent on time and place and things like that. Where the teaching is, there it will click. There's a Qawwali like this, Qawwali is one of those songs that comes from the Sufi culture. Sufi culture, na? Where is Shravani gone? Na? Yeah. Sufi culture, isn't it? Most Qawwalis come from there, isn't it? Yeah. And she's a great singer, by the way. Okay? Yeah. And this says, Qadri brothers, I think, na? They say, Kaun kahta hai mandir mein girja. Come to the temple, God is there. Kaun kahta hai masjid mein. Yahan girja, wahan girja. Arey khuda kahan hai, wahi girja. Where the Lord is, there you prostrate. Where is the Lord? Everywhere. What is the Lord? Aham Brahmasmi iti. So where will it? Do you have to come to Rishikesh to gain that knowledge? Not necessary. Rishikesh you come because the teaching is available, atmosphere is good. A teacher is available. Those days Rishikesh was center of Vedanta learning when I came here. Every ashram had some teacher or the other. Now Rishikesh has become yoga center, adventure center. Yeah. It's known more for yoga than Vedanta. That's okay. Things change. Geopolitical realities will keep changing. So where is the teaching now? Wherever there is a teacher, there is teaching. Wherever there is a teacher, there is teaching. Yeah. So, Aham Brahmasmi can take place anywhere. But the thought of recognition has to be there. Without that thought of recognition, it will not happen. It will remain conceptual. You will try to conceive of the truth. And the concept of the truth is not the truth. You have to break that concept and come to the truth. A concept can help you along, but you still have to break that concept. Yeah. That's why when I was dealing with Panchakosha Viveka last time, I said don't think of it as layers. Now, I did something which normally I wouldn't do. Show that the mind is outside the body, not inside. Why did I do that? So that you will not conceptualize. I'm not a dowsing expert. It's called dowsing. I'm not a dowsing. I use whatever is necessary to make Vedanta clear for you. If an argument from science helps me, I'll use it. If an argument from martial arts helps me, I will use it. Why? You have to be clear. And this is a tradition in Vedanta. Gaudapada, who wrote the Karika on Mandukya, uses arguments from Buddhism. He uses, to dismiss the world, he uses some arguments from Buddhism. Anyway, Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism only. Yeah. Shunyavada is not. Buddha didn't talk of Shunyavada. Shunyavada was written by a writer called Nagarjuna 500 years after Buddha. Because when Buddha was asked about the Atma, he kept quiet. Two possibilities. If I am being critical, I'll say Buddha didn't know how to communicate. I can be critical. I have the freedom to be that. Or I will give him the benefit of doubt because Buddha was a wise person and say he thought the students were not ready for the knowledge, therefore he didn't teach. He only talked about leading a life, the middle path, so that your mind will get ready for the knowledge. No extremes. Follow dharma. Follow the sangha, the power of the group to help you grow. The community will help you grow. Therefore, dharmam sharanam gacchami, dhammam in Pali. Sangam sharanam gacchami. The group. Good. Created a group of seekers. But because the teaching was not there and they wanted a separate identity, you now have to create a separate book. So because he kept quiet, he meant shunya, because silence can be interpreted, no? The child goes and asks the mother, Mom, can I have a chocolate? Mom keeps quiet because she has told no 10 times. It is dinner time, in half an hour is dinner time. Mom kept quiet. Maunam tu sammatam. That means she has agreed, I can have it. Or she's keeping quiet. No, she's angry, I do not have it. Or, why is she keeping quiet? Silence can be interpreted in 100 different ways. All those who have fallen in love know that, no? Yes, so falling in love is a good thing, you know. You will know how silence is interpreted in 100 different ways. It's all preparation for Vedanta, okay? Yeah, everything is preparation for Vedanta, including falling in love. How you interpret the silence. But men better be careful. If the woman is silent, men better be careful even when the woman says, I want to talk. When the man says to his romantic partner, I want to talk, immediately say, what have you done? Because she wants to confess something. He wants to confess something, that's why he says. And the woman says, I want to talk to you. The man is thinking, what have I done? Because she's confronting you on something. She's not happy with something you have done. Right or wrong? Generally, not always, generally. This is life here, come on. A sadhu has to talk about all these things. Ye kya baat hai? Jokes apart, silence can be interpreted. Therefore, Nagarjuna interpreted it like that. Then there was another writer, Ashwagosha. He tried to make a synthesis of Vedanta and Buddhism. Probably Zen was an extension of that later on. So, all this is conceptual. All this is making concepts of the truth. It is not the truth.
Swamiji, is it something like an intuition we can say? Here, Swamiji. Intuition exists. Like I am intuitive about a few things, especially about danger. I have been in so many dangerous situations, I can sense danger a mile off. I am highly intuitive. There are times when I phoned my friends and said, be careful. And it has worked out. Correct. There is some. So I am intuitive in certain things. But intuition is not a pramana. It's not a means of knowledge. Why? It has to be verified. You don't know whether it's your intuition or whether it's your wishful thinking. Hey, the girl smiled at me. Intuitively I know she likes me. Biggest delusion possible. Are you getting? That's wishful thinking. So, intuition exists. Nobody is saying intuition is not there. But it is not a means of knowledge. You can't go for that. So, if your intuition for other things, use it. You know, what your gut says, they'll say that, no? Trust your gut. For Vyavahara, it is fine. Is that learning moment something like an intuition or not? Really?
No. Learning always comes with the pramana. Now, you can get some intuitive insights when you're contemplating on something. Now that the pramana is leading your mind to a new conclusion, which was not there before. That's not really intuition. That's triggered off by the pramana. It's not really, it doesn't come under intuition. In fact, all intuition is triggered off by some pramana only. You have some data because of which you made that intuition. But your subconscious mind picks it up. Your conscious mind didn't pick it up. Subconscious mind has picked it up. That's how the intuition came about. That's why intuition, we accept intuition, but it is not a pramana. Yeah. It's not a means of knowledge. It can give you some insight. That's fine. That happens like what Abhiramanji was saying yesterday. You invoke Ishvara, there's only one Ishvara.
as Vignaharaha. And in your contemplation, you will see some concept of it. No? That concept became Dhyanam. So you can also do it. Yeah. You can. If you understand Ishvara well enough, you can create your own concept of it. But you have to understand Ishvara well enough for that. Yeah. Even without understanding well enough, you can have your Ishta Devata, isn't it? And there also there will be various. I love Krishna as my Ishta Devata. Which Krishna? Now that will depend upon your psyche, isn't it? Bala Gopala, the mischievous one. Really? You really love the mischief. But why are you so upset when your child is creating all the mischief? Really? Why are you so frustrated when your child is breaking? Your 3 or 4 year old child is breaking everything that is there. You love Balagopala, na? Then why can't you love this child? Are you seeing what I am saying? So, you have your own concept. My mother had this habit. Every Diwali she will make bundi laddu, and her bundi laddu was out of the world. And very strict. 3 days of Diwali she will offer, the whole box full will be made, and one part will be offered to the Lord. Only after that we can have it as prasada. So then my niece was born, and my mother was doing the puja with the prasada at the side, and my little one, 1 year old, or just over, 1.5 maybe, she crawled up to there. She saw the mom doing the puja, saw the laddu, took one, and she's sitting down there nicely and eating it up. Very quietly sitting down, mother is doing the puja, the prasada, she has taken one, and she's also sitting cross-legged there and eating it. And I walked in and seeing all this, and I kept quiet. I'm enjoying the scene. Well, I'm seeing Krishna there. The mother turned around. Oh my God! You're offering it to the Lord has come and taken it. That's it. Simple as that. Yeah. We say that in our Subhashitanis, no? Below 5, the child is considered like Bhagavan. So this is 1.5 year old. Okay. Achha. So this is all. How do you know it is Krishna? It could have been my visual thinking. It could have been my intuition. It could have been the way I saw the thing. It could have been 100 different things. Can you see that? It could have been anything. Yeah. Could have been anything. So you conceive. Yeah. That's why Bhagavatam becomes very popular. All the mischief. The romantic mischief he did. Today we'll accuse him of abuse. But, by the way, when Krishna did all that play, he was some 13, 14 year old, okay? At 16 he left Vrindavan and never came back. Huh? This is all child play it was. So what Krishna you like? I personally like Krishna the warrior, the kingmaker, the one who uprooted kingdoms, made new kingdoms, the Gita Acharya. Each one differs, no? What do you like? Ishtam, because that's how you're relating to Ishvara. So, intuition, concepts, etc., you're creating on your own. You can have that. If you understand Ishvara well enough, you can have that. But Aham Brahmasmi is different. You are understanding the truth of Ishvara. In a puja, in your Ishta Devata, in the temple, etc., we are doing worship to the form of the Lord. Here, we are worshipping the Swarupa of the Lord, the nature of the Lord, as non-different from myself. This is also a worship. This is worship to the Swarupa. That is worship to the Rupa. Yeah. Now I said, from Aham Brahmasmi, I'll come back to this Samadhi experience, because this Samadhi experience is something that disturbs everyone. People get caught in that idea of Samadhi. Because Yoga Sutras talks about your Ashtanga Yoga. Now Ashtanga Yoga has become a separate type of practice. No. All yoga is Ashtanga Yoga only, because it has got 8 limbs. Yama Niyama, your ethical disciplines. Asanas, tying up your body in knots. Okay, asana. I'm joking, okay. I respect yoga, but I joke about it. Pranayama, your energy work. Pratyahara, learning to withdraw your senses from the world. So in a sidelight, I will say, many people, yoga teachers I have seen saying, don't read the newspaper, don't read Pratyahara. How are we going to function in the world? Don't waste your time in unnecessary activities. So who decides unnecessary? I have a friend, I'm a cousin, who's Suresh and Sunita's colleague there, he was. This guy, when the serials are on the TV, he will be going having some water, tea or something like that. When the advertisements comes around, he'll look at it. You know why? He runs an ad agency. So he has to know what is happening in the ad world. He looks at the advertisements, not at the serials, not at the movies. Why? Movies and serials are time waste for him. This advertisements are his work, important. So how do you decide what is time waste and what is important? How do you decide? Depending upon your priorities, what are your life priorities? Karma Yoga involves that. What are your life priorities? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. We take Vyavasayatmika buddhi as only moksha. Correct? It is moksha, ultimate moksha. But what about managing my life? How do I live my life? If you don't have your priorities, other people will use you for their priorities. You'll be running around like a headless chicken. This, do that. Whatever your interest pulls you. That is not living a life. There was this girl coming to my class. She would do yoga. She'll practice taekwondo. She'll go cycling. She will dance. I said, why are you doing all these 4 activities? Any one of them is demanding enough to be committed for a few hours every day. Why for all of them? For my health. Your health can be taken by any one of them. Either yoga or martial arts, taekwondo is good enough for your health. You'll get fantastic fitness. Why are you doing all the 4? I'm interested in all of them. Interest is not priority. If health is your priority, what will give you that health? For everyone, health. We all say health is priority. We all want good health. So what is the priority behind health? Exercise, sleep, nutrition, isn't it? So that is important in your life. So like this, go by your priorities, live by your priorities. Then other things you cut off, not necessary, not important. That is pratyahara in practical sense. In practical world, pratyahara is withdrawing from this. When you are living, at the seat of meditation, pratyahara is total withdrawal from the world. Then dharana, focus. Dhyana, meditation. Upasana. Samadhi, there is Savikalpa Samadhi, leading to, because you practice Savikalpa Samadhi, leading to Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Because of this, Samadhi gains a big importance. What is it meant for? If you look at the Yoga Sutras, you will say, Chitta Vritti Nirodha Yoga. Yoga is defined right in the 2nd Sutra. Patanjali defines yoga as mastery of the mind. Therefore, What is the highest mastery? Your mind is like a samurai sword. Use it when necessary. No? So when you need to think, you think. When you don't have to think, are you going to carry the sword in your hand? Sheath it. And don't think. Now you have to think. Think. Samadhi practice helps you to gain that mastery. Again, you have that Sakshi Bhava with respect to life. I am witnessing everything. So the ultimate mastery comes there. Chitta vritti nirodha. Then with that mastered mind, you can do anything you want. In the terms of yoga, come to Vedanta and study. Like that student of mine who has become a teacher said, first 25 years, I was looking for happiness outside. Next 25 years for happiness inside. Yoga, Samadhi. She went into that Samadhi and things like that. But she found it is not enough. Samadhi is never enough. My students know this story. I used to take a class near Chaupati. So sometimes when you're traveling from Chembur, you reach early, or sometimes I have a corporate program or something, or a meeting in town, and I come early for the class. So I'll take a walk on Chaupati beach. There used to be this guy who used to be buried in the sand, head down also. You can do that only if you're in Samadhi. Total buried underground. You can do that only if you go into Samadhi. In fact, all these teachers who talk about Samadhi, I will defy them to do that. Let me see how much Samadhi they know. This guy would do that. But I wanted to meet the guy and talk, but he is there. He is dug out by his students. He's got 3-4 students around. They dig him out only after sunset. By that time my class starts. So I couldn't watch what happens. So one day I decided to go, even though I didn't have a class. I wanted to see this guy. So I saw his students digging him out. And they would keep a small towel in front of the Samadhi. People would put a coin, a note, whatever. Bhiksha. They would put it. So, one day I went there. I am watching this guy being dug out. He came out. The student massaged this thing. And, because, circulation has to restart. No? Yeah. Then he looked at that where the money is kept. Khali 10 rupiya aaya. Only $10. Kya Mayapur hai? He's sad right there. He should come out of Samadhi saying, Anandoham, Anandoham. Uha, uha, uha. Samaveda. Anandoham, Anandoham. Chinmaya Surupo. You should say all that. No, he thinks Khali 10 rupiya. Only $10 have come. Disappointed. So I told him, Maharaji, chaliye, hum khana khilayega. He said, hum log 4 murti hai, there are 4 of us. What are we going to eat in $10? Correct. This was some 30 years back. But $10 still, what can you eat 30 years back? 25 years back. So what can you eat? So I said, come. There's that Ideal restaurant. That time it was an Irani shop. Yeah, you know the place, Ideal restaurant. So I took them there to have something. They ate something. It's an Irani restaurant, but you get some dal chawal, sabji, you will get roti, that you will get. So I sat down talking with him. It was the sheer technique he had learnt and mastered. It's a great thing. But there was no knowledge, there is no wisdom. I sat down talking to him for an hour. Having food, talking. No wisdom, nothing. This is what we call Andha Samadhi. The Samadhi of a person who doesn't know the truth. Now, you can know the truth and also go into Samadhi. Not necessary. When you practice Nididhyasanam, owning up that, sometimes you may slip into Samadhi. It has happened. Okay? You may slip. That is Jnana Samadhi, Jnana Lakshana Samadhi. That is fine. Not necessary, but fine. Yeah. Knowledge is what is necessary. And making that knowledge a fact of your life. Because the Samadhi holds our mind too much. It held my mind also. This was before I joined the ashram. Okay? I used to be exposed to this. And I used to get up in the morning. practice meditation. Then, but I had to leave home and catch the train at 6:30 a.m. to be for my training as a marine trainee that time. So for my training, I had to be at the workshop at 6:30. 6:30 train, so 7:30 I am in my workshop. 7:15 I'll get down at Dockyard Road, walk to Mazagon, there, be there. So I used to sit. And sometimes you are in Samadhi. You used to slip into Samadhi. Is there awareness of time? Then my mom would get up. It is 6:30, you are supposed to leave. What happened? I said, oh my God. Today I had to bunk. Because already 6:30, I am not ready. And if you are late, you are not allowed inside. So one day leave gone. So after that, I used to get that old grandfather clocks, alarm clocks, our time alarm clock. I used to sit, put it, because by 6 o'clock I had to be out of meditation. So I used to put it there and sit. But in Samadhi, is there sound? You don't always hear sound. So my mother would hear it in her bedroom, because this thing was so loud, the whole building will hear it. You will come and shake me awake. What? The worst way to come out of Samadhi, okay? It's very disturbing. You shake me awake. What are you doing? Okay. Off it, and then I'll get ready and go. 1 year it happened. I said, what is wrong with me? Is my Atma so useless that nothing is happening? I'm going into Samadhi, nothing is happening. I'm not feeling I'm Ananda, I'm a wise person or something. I'm feeling I'm the same idiot. Then Puja Swamiji gave a series of lecture on Dakshinamurti Sotram. This was before Shankaramatam was made in that hall, in that ground outside there. 74. And whatever we collected went to Shankaramatam to build Shankaramatam. And there, listening to the lecture, I realized, oh my God, what did I realize? What an idiot I have been. I am sitting in Samadhi and expecting knowledge to come. Knowledge comes from a pramana. Barabar hai yaar. This is it. Samadhi practice, good to prepare your mind. Mind is this, nice. Yeah. It can move from here to there without losing focus. I'll come back. That's good. Mastery you gained. But no knowledge. No knowledge. Knowledge came later with the understanding. But then when I was exposed, I could understand things well and fast. Why? Mind is ready, na? Mind is ready. Because the work has been done. So to get the mind ready, Samadhi, etc. is good. Yoga is a preparation for Samadhi. And yoga is a preparation for Vedanta. There are about 30 Yoga Upanishads. Nowadays we associate Yoga and Sankhya together. But previously Yoga was taken as a preparation for Vedanta because there are 30 Yoga Upanishads published. Because I have 112 Upanishads with me. 30 of them are Yoga Upanishads. So don't get caught up by that Samadhi. Okay? Don't get caught up by that Samadhi thing. It's a good practice to do. Do that. But keep the focus very clear. It is not to know the truth. It is meant to prepare your mind. And elsewhere in the Yoga Sutra, he also says, okay, Swatmai Nishtaha, to be established in yourself. So Samadhi is also being established in yourself. But you don't know what you are. You can be established in yourself without knowing what you are. No? Every warrior is established in himself. Meaning at that level. Not a black belt in karate that you see. That is, black belt in karate meaning your learning has just started. That's all it means. I have a friend who went and learned from a Tibetan Lama. Martial arts.
So he went to meet the Lama. He had heard about him, went to meet the Lama. Lama is teaching 6 students. So he said, "Sir, I would like to learn." "I have enough students." "Not necessary." 6 students, and he's saying, "I have enough students." So, but this man knew this is a way of testing. So he's a young man, 16-year-old at that, 16, 17-year-old. So every day for 3 months he went there. Whenever the class was there, he'll wait outside. Class is there, he'll wait outside. So the Lama called him. "Christy boy, you really want to learn?" "Yes, sir, I want nothing more than that." "Yes, you're proved. You've been here for 3 months. Tomorrow, bring all your belts and certificates." So by black belt, you have 10 belts in your hand. Black belt. It takes 5 years minimum to get a black belt. If it's a good school. Good school means minimum 5 years of training to get a black belt. So he said, "Oh, good." Each belt and certificate he's putting on the ground. This guy is thinking, why is he putting it on the ground? It's sacred. I paid for it in sweat and blood and tears. Then on top of it, he put some kerosene on it and sets it all afire. Christy boy, your real learning starts now. Your real learning starts now. So you've done Samadhi practice. Very good. Now come to Vedanta. Your real learning starts now. That's how it is. That's a great preparation. Martial arts is a great preparation. Karma yoga is a great preparation. Getting married is a great preparation. A failed love affair, even bigger preparation. You learn much more from a failed one than a successful one. Great preparation. Yeah. But you have to draw learnings from life. A great preparation. But Swamiji, Manduke Karika talks about Turiya. What about that? The 4th state of consciousness. Yeah, it talks about Turiya. But Turiya is not the 4th state. So what is the Turiya? Break ke baad. Next class we will look into that also, because all this is part of learning about the Mahavakya. Otherwise you will get, this all becomes Purvapakshas. You get stuck in all these areas. Okay? So this Turiya also we will see. Swamiji, you have barely finished 1 page and 3 days have gone. When will you finish it? Don't worry. If you are timeless, you have all the time in the world. तीनों काल अतीत है, टाइम से क्या मतलब है? Typical Rishikesh language this is. Okay, among the sadhus. You're beyond the 3 periods of time. What do you have to do with time? That's